Okay, so mine may look a little different than yours because when I converted it over, it took away some boxes and stuff. But the main idea is two figures are similar if they have the same shape. If the figures are similar, then their corresponding angles are congruent. Okay, congruent means equal. So corresponding angles have to match up and they have to be equal. And the measures of their corresponding sides are proportional. So proportional means I can scale up or scale down to that number and they would equal to have that same scale. Okay, so congruent, same size and shape. Okay, so we're going to talk about this one in particular, and I'm going to talk about some meanings just to review the skills real quick. Okay, so if you review these skills, this little line right here, okay, this one also has that same little line. What does that mean?
They're equal.
They're equal. It means those angles are equal. Okay, so angle A and angle, I'm going to write that, looks like angle. I know it kind of looks like an L, but angle A and angle D are congruent. So I'm going to write that little thing right there. Okay, that little thing means congruent. Yes?
Those are me and my sister's initials.
Oh, cool. Okay, so B right here, okay, has two little lines. So that means that those two lines are congruent. Now, A and B are not the same because there's a difference in a line. If they both had a single line, then they would be congruent also, but they don't. So we're going to say that angle B and angle E are congruent. And then our last set is what? C and F. So C and F. So angle C and angle F are congruent. Okay? So those are matching up. Yes, ma'am?
Why didn't you just put the equal sign?
Because I want y'all to start using that vocabulary. So we're looking at vocabulary.
But aren't they the same?
They are the same, but you'll see this more than you'll see equal sign. Okay? Okay? So, based on that, okay, now, they gave us a similarity statement right here. So I'm going to write that similarity statement in words, okay, or in letters. So I'm going to say triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. And I don't know if that's already on your paper because, like I said, they took
I see what we're doing.
some of the missing stuff off. Okay, and then, okay, so also by saying these things, we're saying that the sides are proportional. So we're saying that AB and DE are proportional. BC and EF are proportional, and AC and DF are proportional. Okay, by saying those sides are congruent, we're saying those sides we're saying the angles are congruent, the sides are proportional. We also said that by this statement right here. Okay, so if I were to write a scale, so what I showed in my lab, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to have you highlight here in a minute. But this is where I'm going to go with it. So, okay, so I would do this by color. So I would say that, okay, if we're checking to see if they're congruent or they're similar figures, I would pick my side. So I would say blue over green, blue over green. So I would do that. And then I would plug in my numbers. I would say this is a small one. So small, small. Big, big. So I would say that the small triangle, 4, and the small green is 6. The big blue is 6, and the big green is 9. If I cross multiply 6 times 6, I get 36. 9 times 4 is 36. So that is also telling me that they are similar figures. Okay, by that step right there, that extra little step. Okay, notice I did it with colors. I just set it up and I made sure that those are the matching sides. Okay, I don't know how much y'all got into this last year, but based on this statement right here, this statement that I wrote up here, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF, okay? I am saying, we decided right here that angle A and angle D were congruent by the signs, right? By this statement, I am also telling you that same thing because they're in the same position in the wording, okay? So I'm telling you that triangle A and triangle D should match up. Are you with me there? By putting them first in the wording. Yes.
Do the other ones match up too?
Yes, so B and E match up and C and F match up. Okay, so when I read my line, if I read my line as AB, like I did right here, I would need to read the line as DE because that's how they're proportional by AB. So that's going from this angle to this angle, so you go from that angle to that angle. So I can't write AB to over ED, okay? I can't do that, or I don't usually do that I'm not going to do that because they don't match up here. Like this is AB and goes from this angle to this angle, so I would need to write it as AB over DE. It is not always in alphabetical order. It is in order by how we're seeing it. So we saw it AB here, so we need to see it here. But you could write it BA ED because you're going from angle B to angle A and angle E to angle D. Do you understand that concept right there? Okay. You can reverse it, but you have to make sure you reverse both of them. It's either one or all. I mean, it can't be, it's got to be this way or that way. Are you with me there? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. Okay. So looking at this, example 2, determine the scale factor. A lot of what this is you're going to be finding that missing angle. Okay, a lot of what that is. Sometimes they ask you to find the missing side. So it's missing side, missing angle, that's generally what they're using this teak to find. Okay, setting up a proportion is what we've been doing, so that's where I'd like you to say, if you can scale up and scale down, totally do that. If you can see that scale moving, then do that. But a lot of times setting up a proportion is just as easy. So we're saying rectangle KLMN is similar to rectangle PQRS. So by that statement, I am saying that angle K and angle P are congruent. Okay, this is a rectangle, so technically they're all congruent, correct? Mm-hmm. But angle P corresponds with angle K. Okay, those two go together. Angle L corresponds with angle Q, angle M with angle R, angle N with angle S. Okay, they correspond with each other. Now, in a rectangle, they are all congruent. But we just need to kind of keep that idea when we're going. Okay, it says determine the missing measure. So we're going to look right here. I'm going to color the sides. And I'm going to say KL to PQ, LM to QR, MN to RS, and NK to SP. Okay, so determine the scale factor from a polygon. Okay, so we're going to find that missing side first. So I'm going to set it up as a proportion. There's like 4 or 5 different ways you could set it up. Okay, but I set it up the way I like to do, like yellow, red, yellow, red. That's the way I like to do it. Can you do it yellow, yellow, red, red? Yeah. Do we know that green is 5 because red is 5? Yes, because it's a rectangle, right? So we know some of those things, but I would just do it yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. Okay? Okay, that's my personal way that I would do it. So yellow is 4, red is 5, yellow is 3, red is X. Okay, 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times X is 4X. Okay, divide both sides by 4. X equals 3.75.
How did you
I just know what that. 4 goes into 15 3 times. There's 3 left over. 3/4 is 0.75. Yes, ma'am.
Can you also do 5 times 3 and then divide it by 2? You have to do with the x.
I mean, you don't, but I would start, because the triangles is where it's going to do. And a lot of times at your level, they're going to rotate those figures. So it's better if you match up the sides with the color. And then, because a lot of time, okay, so, I'm gonna, so like, for example, on this one right here, this is not y'all's, but this is, okay, look how they rotated the figures. They don't match up true. So if you don't look and make sure that you're matching up the correct sides, that's when we're gonna get off. That's probably 90% of anybody that gets it wrong is somebody that doesn't match up the sides correctly, okay? So it's better if you just match it up and then kind of pick your proportion and do it that way. That just gives you more of a solid answer, because they're going to be rotated a lot like this. See how they're rotated? Can y'all see that from back there? See how they're not just, these are pretty, these are pretty and next to each other, you know, right here. And this, oh, look, it matches, you know. This one, look, it's rotated all the way around. It's rotated all the way around. This one's upside down. So you just need to make sure. That's why I'm saying if you just match up with the colors, it just kind of makes it a clear, even picture. Okay? Okay, so that being said, okay, man, it even cut off the rest. Let's see what it says on the next page. Takes the top of it. Can I see that? Can I borrow that? Oh, your notes. Okay, so I'm going to fill this one in, and we're just going to do it real quick. Okay, so up here it says B, C, and it's blank. Okay, and then I think everything else is there. Okay, so if I were to shade this, I would say, what does that wording say? Sorry. I don't know why it's cutting off the wording. The polygons are similar. What do you know about corresponding angles? Okay, the polygons are similar. What do you know? Okay, so if they're similar, what does that mean? Proportional sides and congruent angles. So the polygons are similar. What do you know about corresponding angles? So that they are congruent. Okay. What was that next question say?
The triangles below are similar. Determine the missing measure.
Okay, so now we're finding missing measure, okay? So this is the one I'm going to color. So I'm going to say this matches up one angles 1 to 2. That matches up because the angles it's saying that those are congruent. Landry, you need to take that off your head, please. Saying this side is congruent based on the angles, and then this is our last side. Okay, so we're looking for the missing one. I could do red, blue, green, green, blue, blue. There's lots of ways I can do this, guys, okay? So just need to make sure that you're matching up the right. So I'm going to do, let's do green. Green, green, blue, blue, okay? So I'm going to go green is 12 over 8, 15 over x. Okay, what's 8 times 15? Is 120, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, 12 times x is 12x. 12x equals 100. Divide both sides by 12, and you're going to get
10.
x equals 10. Okay?
Does it work like that the way I did this? The way I said that?
It sure does. That works. Yep. Okay. Okay. So I think that y'all kind of are getting the hang of this, right? Yeah? Okay. So I want you to finish the 3 and 4, and then you'll start on that, Luke. Finish 3 and 4, and then start on your homework page. Okay, I'll be walking around the room. If you have any questions, holler at me. I'd really like to see you highlighting. It's not a have to, but I think it's helpful. So if you need some highlighters, I have a few. But other than that, let me know. Okay.